Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, we're good.
It's not lagging, just a couple minutes, like a couple seconds.
We're good. Okay, good to go. Everybody good to go.
Good to go.
All right. Lord, like, holy shit.
Well, I'm like, how's that?
So, we were actually live. I want to appreciate y'all for tuning in. I'm sure we'll get everybody. I should have sent the going live notification. But hey, we're still learning. We're still learning. We're still good. So, actually, this is episode 5. Yeah, this is episode 5. Bird breath.
What?
No, we call them dog.
Bird
Bird
breath.
breath.
Oh, that's fine.
But yeah, this
You
is
got the dog here?
episode 5. Yeah, episode 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, episode 5. I still got episode 4 still on her phone. So yeah, we're good. Thank God. I won't have to upload nothing no more. I'll be as soon as y'all hit the page, you can just scroll over to live, and that's where we'll be. Thank God. It took 5 episodes, but finally got it. So appreciate y'all for tuning in for another episode of 4th and 0. I do apologize for the inconsistency. As y'all can see, your boy, my leg. Yeah, I done broke my leg.
You didn't break it.
Tore, broke, either way. XFL, I know I was talking about that first episode. Yeah, that's out the window. I am not joining the XFL. This junk hurt like a... So, I'm on the show for 4 to 6 months. God, honestly, when this heals, I'll really be afraid to see if
Yeah.
I don't know.
Now that you know, yeah.
I came back from the doctors and I just kept replaying it pop like multiple times. I'm like, now it's like, oh, what if I go back on the field and it just pops again? So, but yeah, how y'all boys been? Y'all boys been good?
Can't complain. Yeah, can't complain.
Oh,
Shit, good.
your girl Meg messed up the first pitch. You want to talk about that?
Didn't mess it up.
Yes, she did. She's about to throw the second.
Well, no, I know that, but I'm saying once the pitch actually happened, we were good.
Better than 50.
Yeah, I was gonna say better than 50.
I mean, but she didn't even know where to throw it to. Come on, fam. You really showing your cakes to the umpire? You showing your cakes to the umpire? I don't know where to throw the ball. You telling me that she never watched baseball?
Probably not.
That's honestly what I'm thinking.
Probably
Where
not.
do I throw the ball? Show my eye.
Well, so the thing is, like, obviously a pitcher, before they pitch, they do warm up a little bit, kind of throw it around the bases, like he used to do that in Little League, right?
I mean,
So who's to say that she wasn't trying to warm up a little bit
So-
before she threw the pitch?
you telling me that she hasn't seen all those rappers throw the pitch? And you telling
They
me?
even have a celebrity like softball.
I mean, still, they have celebrity basketball and they know how to shoot the ball at least. And you telling me that she don't know where to throw the ball? Yeah, get your. Hey, y'all think Buddy was trying to cop the field when he get run? Hey, that glove.
He had to be sweating a little bit.
Hey, that glove was a little bit too low.
He had to be sweating a little bit, just a little bit.
No, that glove was a little bit too low. It's like, I don't know if he's supposed to keep that joke up here. He got one hand up here, one hand down low. Hold on now.
Oh,
You think Buddy had a wife?
Probably.
Had to.
Yeah.
Or at least.
I mean, she did go in for the hug first, so he did.
I mean,
he had to do it, but
Hey, he could have hit her with the side, with the one arm, with the blah blah, and then had the other one. Come on, fam.
it's like a little
Come
side
on
hug
now.
there. Yeah.
Cause you know,
With the swim move.
yeah.
Yeah.
Come
Not
on.
today. Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
You good? Yeah.
Hit her with the wrestling move.
Wizard. Give her the wizard.
Yeah, it was.
But all right, so we got wrestling, we got baseball, opening week. We'll get a little bit into basketball, football. There hasn't been too many signings. We're just basically waiting on the NFL draft.
Yeah.
It's
So-
pretty dry.
We can get into those topics. Which y'all want to start off with first? Want to get into baseball?
He's itching for baseball, so we might as well let Devin open. I mean, no, we can talk about baseball.
We can get into baseball.
Yeah, what are we talking about?
I have some things written down here.
So we're currently watching the Rays and the Padres
No,
game. No.
stuff.
Oh, okay. So.
Yeah,
Same state. Same state. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
Take another guess there, bud.
Oh, shit, I don't even know. Oh, Oakland A's. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so-
Okay. So, Oakland Athletics, my fault. Look, I'm a noob. I'm learning though. I only know LA Dodgers, team I got, St. Louis Cardinals,
Yeah,
and
I
all
got you.
all the other teams, and Philly, of
Yeah.
course. I mean that's what I would.
The Yankees?
Yeah, of course, unfortunately, I'm playing. Them socks, the white and red socks.
Both of them.
Henry Sox?
That's crazy.
We talking about Rendon.
What he did.
He's the dude that got us.
Grabbing the fan.
Oh
I can get
yeah.
over that.
Buddy who hit his finishing move and yanked him out like Def Jam Vendetta. Hemmed his ass up. Yeah. So why did that occur? Was it just like typical? Just
I don't know why he did it.
you think it was
Because they suck and they were fucking lost.
them PEDs?
Oh.
Vance didn't get his shit.
Hey, if he's on some PDs, he needs to get some better ones or something.
Vance was on the PEDs and he was like, someone just like wrong place, wrong time. Man.
I mean, we could talk about just like how the fact you just can't do that. Like in any sport. I mean, like, we talked about it before we started, but like, he probably paid, $200 for those seats,
Mhm.
and Rendon's making millions and millions, and you can't let that kind of stuff get under your skin.
You think it's a little bit of entitlement
It could
when
be.
it comes to the players?
I mean, I can't think. I mean, there's been instances, but that's not like a common thing for like a professional athlete to go after a fan like that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're walking, and also the way that stadium's set up, and Devin probably knows better than I do, but I'm not sure why they walk directly past the fans. It's almost like like in football,
Like a tunnel?
like you're walking through the tunnel. Like obviously, in baseball, you walk into the dugout, you go down underneath. So there's really not a lot of room for error with fans, but they were walking like straight past
I don't know.
all these people. I know that stadium's old, but yeah, it's was the A stadium, right? Was that what
No,
it was?
what's the
I think it was the A stadium. Which they've been talking about building a new one for a while, but
Coliseum?
yeah, the Coliseum. But yeah, you just can't do that, man. Cannot do that. You can't grab him. Of course
You
you're
can't
gonna.
even go for a slap.
You can trash talk, but like when he was holding him, like yeah, he didn't want to slap him.
And his dad.
Is it
I was just joking.
as egregious as it was when Westbrook slapped the phone out of a fan's hand?
So I think the phone slapping is a lesser offense due to the fact that you're not actually putting your hands on the person.
Right, but I mean,
It's his property, though.
Yeah, that's his property. I think they're both bad in their own way, but both of them obviously you can't do. But I just think you just can't he grabbed the dude by the jersey and was like, "Get over here!" Like I'm about to slap the shit out of you.
right.
You can't do that.
You just can't put your hands on anybody. Now, like with the whole phone slap, I'm not saying he was right, but as athletes, like you get to the point where you lost. People are already saying stuff about you, and that was a playoff game that Russ did that too, so I can understand. So it's like, and then the fact, I feel like, if I can remember correctly, he felt like it was all up in his face and in his personal space, which he is entitled to his own personal space. But I mean, showing is that it's not like they were pressing the phone all up in his face as he walked by for him to slap.
If I'm taking the phone and I'm slapping you in the face with it, like you suck, I feel like it's a natural knee-jerk reaction to be like, get off me.
Of course.
Yeah, it wasn't that deep, but still, either way, it's like, it's just obviously as athletes, it's just they have to check themselves because like in real life, if I'm like sitting in a restaurant, I look over at you and I'm like, you suck, like you're eventually gonna get tired of it, and that's a whole different scenario. But dude, they're making millions, and it's like you gotta restrain yourself. You gotta be professional about it, because now they're always gonna look back at him and be like, oh yeah, he's the dude that grabbed the fan. So I don't know. It's just a bad situation, but she just made a noise that you guys would not be able to hear, but yeah.
All up in the video.
All up in the video. The fourth member, the co-star.
But I mean, also like that's a grown man.
No, 100%.
You can't like oh, he ain't gonna do shit because he's on TV and he's an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Which, dude, and that's another thing to kind of touch on that. Like, grown-ass men go to the games, get drunk as crap, and just heckle.
yeah.
I'm like, you're there, and especially because you don't know what they're saying. Like, they got little kids that are watching the game with their parents, and they could be like, oh, I slept with your mom, or I did all this stuff. It's like, bro, how old are you? Like,
Yeah.
so there's levels to it. I mean, it's, it's on the fan, but it's also just Rendon being a professional enough to be like, hey, this dude's a scrub. I'm not going to pay attention to him. Maybe say something as you're walking by, but can't grab him.
There's definitely a difference between like trash talk, like keeping it within the sport of trash talk, and then talking to a person, because a lot of people forget these are like people too.
Yeah.
Just because they have the title of an athlete, that doesn't mean that they're any different than regular people. So a lot of times people will think that they're bold enough to go up to that person. I'm like, it's dumb.
Yeah.
I feel like leagues should crack down on that too, especially like when it comes to fans. It's like, hey, like obviously if they do anything, they'll get thrown out. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it should be a known rule going into the season. If anything like that happens, if anyone says anything to a fan outside of the norm, then you should be banned, obviously.
Oh yeah.
If it's going on for a while.
Yeah.
If you're having a whole game, get
Yeah.
out.
I think there should be like a 3-strike rule,
Mm-hmm.
almost like the game, like a warning.
Mm-hmm.
If you're dumb enough to do it the third time, move seats, get out, and do something.
And I think a lot of people forget too, like when they're at these nationally televised games, they're on TV too.
Yeah.
So we can go back and we can like we don't know your name obviously, but we know what you look like, and so with that being said, I feel as if the league should crack down on it. It really hasn't happened that much, just besides, then Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, that whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Dylan Brooks.
But then he also gets a pass too.
Yeah.
In a sense.
So I'll ask. Okay, let me go into this now too. I guess it's a good topic to piggyback off of. How do you feel about super fans? Like, you got like the dudes that have like the gimmicks that go there. Like, there's like the Chiefs guy that used to go there with like the wolf costume. Fireman Ed from the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
It's a funny story. There's a I don't know if he still goes, but at the Tampa games, the first one I ever went to, there was a guy he was named the Happy Heckler.
Mm-hmm.
He was specifically sitting behind home plate. Anytime the opposing team would come up, and it wasn't bad, but you would just be able to hear him like through the whole stadium, and he would be like, "Oh, you're batting .250. You only hit one home run this year." All this stuff like nonstop.
They get a pass because it's kept within the sport.
It just depends on how you handle it.
It's like because all the super fans, like, they're known for that. They're basically like the representation of the team. Like through the fan, they represent like the fan base.
Yeah.
So they've always kept it within the lines. It's never been a time where it's like you've seen a super fan get into it physically or verbally. So I feel like that's fine. They get a pass.
I get that. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's like if I can't because if we're not in the nosebleeds, but if we're in the higher bowl and the super fans right there, in a sense he's speaking for all the fans.
I get that.
So,
and I feel like if they have that title and they kind of unintentionally get that super fan title, then like they need to represent the fan base.
Right.
Because now everyone knows like, oh, Fireman Ed from the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
If he acts like an idiot, then that's how they're going to perceive the whole fan base.
Yep.
So I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. But yeah, I've always wondered because it's like you're that passionate about it. If you're spending money, and a lot of those dudes have season tickets and stuff, like they're not always liked by everyone because they're like, oh, they're just loud and obnoxious, but they are passionate enough to put the money into that team, and that's their thing. So.
I mean, I would understand if we went to like a hostile environment and like they felt the same, like the way like us Philly fans feel about our team, they probably feel the same way. So it's like I get it. It's like that's, if anything, you expect that hostility going in there.
Yeah.
It's like no matter what the team is, you always expect some type of edge coming from the fans because that's just
the only thing is like, especially like it opened my eyes. Like I knew Philly fans were always like that, but the conference championship game with San Fran. I saw
the car.
Well, there were just so many TikToks, and it was like a crowd of Philly fans. It's just like San Francisco, like a family, like a husband and wife or something.
Yeah.
And it was like,
get the
hell out of here,
Yep.
you suck.
Yep.
I'm like, it's one thing to go up to and be like, hey, that jersey looks like toilet paper. Something like that, playful banter, but like just don't harm them. Like if they're not doing anything to you and they're just trying to watch the game.
Especially when it was Joey Bosa. He was walking with the
That
family.
I remember.
And they was like, and Joe was like, "You motherfucker!" Like,
Now the Bosa brothers are a different story because
Yeah.
they'll talk trash back.
yeah, oh yeah, 100%.
But yeah,
but
it's just-
it's the fact that we were that confident. We didn't give a freak who dude was.
Yeah.
We didn't give a freak who he was. We was like, "Look, you a regular.
Yeah.
You got on the
yeah.
field. You a regular.
you and your brother are well known.
100%. I won't give a F."
But there's been stories too with like at the Yankees games where it's like the wife and the kids will be sitting there and they'll just like
Oh yeah,
the
yeah.
wife will tweet or something, be like, "I've never been in a worse stadium," or like Philly or Boston, one of those like passionate fan bases.
That's why they put him in the press box.
They have to.
Literally, at that point, it's really for safety.
Yeah, it is because you just don't. They're gonna figure out who you are, and then they're never gonna let you watch the game.
Yeah. I'm like, hell, like, why wouldn't you want to be in the press box anyway?
Yeah, right.
You really want to sit with these obnoxious ass
And you put like 5 or 6 beers in the mix with each of those people.
What? No, hold on. No, hold on. We already lit pregame.
Oh, that's yeah.
Yeah, Philly was lit that game.
The conference game, we
That
snuck.
8-0?
What was it?
It was like a lacrosse game.
It was lacrosse,
Yeah,
and we
parking lot.
snuck into the parking lot like 5 hours before.
People bought tickets to the lacrosse game to get into the parking lot.
Oh.
The
Yes.
Philly game
We
at
was-
8 o'clock in the morning.
And I forget who was it. I don't know if it was from a 49ers team or whatever. Or no, I think it was the fans. They said like they could smell beer like 2 miles from the
I saw
stadium.
that.
Yeah.
I heard something about that. Yeah.
I was like, bro, I wish we was there. That shit would have been crazy.
That's the thing, dude. Like with the people that tailgate, like there's a guy in New England that's been doing it for like 15 years, but he gets up, the sun's not even up. He packs the truck with the grill, like 3 tables, bunch of lawn chairs in the back seat, gets like his kids, everything, and then they set up like right before the sun's coming up.
Yeah.
And they'll sit there for like the 1 o'clock game or something. But those people,
Yeah.
God bless them, they're spending their hard-earned money, so.
And imagine like if football players started to do these load managements like basketball players and people did all that just for tailgating, it would.
Could you imagine? You spend like your paycheck for the last month
Yup.
to go see Jalen Hurts, and they're like, "Nah, it's week 15. He's he's tired. We gotta sit him."
When we go to Tampa and then they hit us with a rest.
AJ Brown rest.
I wish. I'm
Oh.
like, nope. I'll leave. I'll be like, hey, you see 11? Oh no. All right, let's go.
Yeah.
I'll leave.
Well, that's the one thing about Kobe. We've talked about this, I think, before. We did that interview where he said, like, "Who am I to sit out because this guy and his kid came here to see me? Who am I? Like, that's not me." But that mentality is it's gone. It's gone. It's going less and less now. But
Well, I feel like the NFL doesn't play enough games to have somebody sit out a game.
that
It's
too.
too important. Every game's kind of important.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It's not like baseball.
Well, yeah, because it's like you're in week 10 and you're already starting to think like, okay, we gotta start thinking a wild card, or we're like 4 games back in the last wild card. We gotta start edging up. You know what I mean? So,
Because I think of it from like the athletic standpoint when it comes to just like what they do for prep throughout the week. Because they do play once a week versus NBA teams who play like probably they can have like team play like twice a week.
Mm-hmm.
So like I can understand the load management aspect of it. I don't agree, but I understand. But I can because they'll fly to the next team destination, whatever. Then they'll rest for like 2 days. Because I hear like stories about how they'll have like Monday and Tuesday off. They come back Wednesday. They're probably not even doing crap those 2 days.
Yeah.
They're probably like actually like resting. Wednesday come back, walkthroughs. They're not really hitting like that no more because of all the injuries. So then I can understand why like they would be able to play more games now versus back in the day when it was just like practice,
Yeah.
full pads, practice, game. That's when you used to hear people used to get hurt during practice.
yeah.
Now it's just like they don't do that.
I agree.
You want anything else in baseball?
I got a lot. Hunter Green throwing 103 miles an hour.
Damn.
103.
Did he get tested?
Ben throwing 103.
What do you think has? I'll ask you because I know you watch baseball a lot more. What do you think has been the cause of like the increased speed in pitching. Because we saw it with Chapman when he came over, and that was like the first dude. I remember he threw 100 on the gun, and like I was a kid, and I was like, "Whoa!" He threw 100 miles an hour. We hadn't seen 3 digits on the radar gun like ever.
Yeah.
And now it's like common. It's like, oh, this dude throws like 102 in his peak. And, you know, obviously it's a lot of times it's like set up in closers, but I feel like it's increased.
103, 104. That dude in college and minor leagues done 103.
Yeah.
Does that have anything? Well, not necessarily anything to do with the rule changes, but more of like the overall changes, or like is this a new breed of like of athletes?
Player, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Because it just has to go probably within like the preparation and training. I don't know. I mean,
Probably.
you can't teach arm strength though.
Right.
Like, yeah, technique. Yeah.
Right. Because it's like, even though I wasn't keeping up with baseball, like baseball has changed to just like basketball and football. So it's like, I know with every league now they have a new generation of players, so they all bring something different to the table.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even though these dudes like, I know they look more physical now. I'll be seeing like batters looking like,
Baseball?
or yeah, like these dudes be looking like whole linebackers. I'm like, all you doing is swinging a bat.
You know,
Big dudes.
you know who Tyler O'Neill is, right? Cardinals. He looks like
Jack.
Joey Bosa.
Oh, hold on, Joey or Nick? Because Nick is.
No, I'd say Joey.
Oh, okay.
Joey's big. Would you say Joey's bigger?
Nick is. I would have to say Nick.
Really?
Probably because I was watching a lot of 49er games this season.
Oh, that's fair.
Joey
was out for. Was Joey or Nick was out for a while?
It was Joey.
Was it Joey?
Yeah.
I mean, you got big dudes, but then you also have a little guy like Trey Turner,
Mm-hmm.
who's like still one of the fastest guys in the league, and it's still just blast. And he's like skinny.
Oh,
All
so
right.
that's where it's like technique at that point.
Reference.
Technique, and like also these guys are throwing so fast.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of just got to put it out there, you know.
All right, reference point.
Mm. Is that
That's
Joey?
Tyler O'Neill.
Oh, damn!
Jack City.
That's a big. I don't.
That's
You guys
the-
can't see him. Google it, but yeah, he's
He
big dude.
I think it was 2 days ago.
What
He
the?
like was
Called out
like
his-
trotting around the bases.
and he called out whoever the managers right now.
What the freak?
All right, there's another one. Look, so the biceps are flexed. That dude's big. That's a
Are
big
we
dude.
weightlifting or are we bodybuilding at this point for baseball? Look, so you telling me that man is physical? He's conditioned.
Yeah.
I mean, conditioned to run, and he look like that.
I feel like he's more conditioned. Smack balls.
All right, pause. Hey, let me
Whoa!
Hey, I need my SARMs.
Oh,
He's not, because he's not that fast.
Is
that does impede like a fourth of the game. You gotta think
I
about
mean,
it.
but if he's hitting homies with that,
Yeah, then you're good. I mean, because obviously you're gonna lose some athleticism.
I mean, but the power outweighs the speed.
It does. If he's throwing 40 homers a year, then they don't care a few errors in the outfield. That's not a big deal.
If they have him on the scouting report, and they bringing in the critical pitcher when he come up the bat, then you know.
That's yeah.
But nobody's doing that.
But I would say I don't think there's many guys that are as big as him right now that I've seen.
Is that creatine? That fam, I got creatine in the show, and
That-
ain't no way.
Like I wouldn't say I'm not trying to say he's on anything, but like that's a big build.
Fam, what?
That's a big.
Well, I
build.
ain't accusing him, but
No.
if that's creatine alone, then I got creatine in the
Get on it.
my leg.
You know?
I did, and then I got injured. Being on
Creatine helped that.
bro, being on IR sucks. That was the next one.
The Renfro catch. You see that?
I did see that.
Hold on.
Kind of
It was
look.
week 1. Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that.
Otani was like mind blowing.
I mean, hey, great catch, but that's not a good baseball play.
he got
took
lucky.
a terrible line to
Yeah.
that ball, and he got real lucky with that catch.
Damn.
You shouldn't have to make that
If
catch.
it's
That's
going
why
this
no
way
one's
and you're
seen it.
going
Yeah.
this way,
Damn, Pop. You Coach Popovich. Hey, let him have his
this ain't practice.
practice. You talking about practice?
What do you think is like the worst? I don't even know what situation you could put them in, but Belichick and Popovich, like coaching like how
okay, well,
how miserable are those players?
So actually, dang, where did I see this? I think I saw it on Instagram, but basically, like, those are the two outdated teams in both basketball and football.
Absolutely.
Because of their coaching style. And
it's their mentality, which their mentality is not wrong, but it's the people and the players that are coming up right now that have,
GG's. We good.
God almighty, that was live too.
Hey, you making me look bad out here.
We're live. But
it's a pop flop.
it's no, it's like it's the players that you got to adapt to new generations.
It's the league. The league's changed for both teams, and they're just not adjusting. I mean, I guess we can say with Brady. Brady had a lot of success with Belichick, but seeing Brady out of a different team or with a different team, they never really changed anything.
So you got to think Brady comes in the league in 2000. Mm-hmm. Think of who was in the league in 2000, and think of how Belichick was formulating his team and his mindset of how he wanted his guys to get ready. That was correct for the time.
Right.
Fast forward 23 years now, whole different story. Same thing with Popovich. Who was he coaching? Tim Duncan,
right?
Manu Ginobili,
David Robinson,
even David Robinson. So.
And the league was different too.
The league was different, so you gotta update yourself, man. Yeah. Retire or update yourself, because like they both still have that mentality, and that's why the Spurs haven't won in a while.
Yeah. I mean, because Manu was on his way, Timmy was on his way, TP was on his way, and then that's when he had Kawhi.
Yeah.
That championship run, that was like the last time we would have seen like the Spurs in any championship run. So I think, they just really need to get with the times. I mean, you can still keep the same mentality that won you a chip, but you have to formulate a roster or a game plan that will help your guys succeed.
Yeah, they got to adapt, which a lot of the coaches now, as you see, are younger. I mean, it's not completely true because obviously Andy Reid just won the Super Bowl, but you got to say he adapted.
Oh, most definitely. But like you said, because he went from being an assistant head coach to being a head coach. And then in the style of play, the era which he was coaching in was a lot different. It was a lot run heavy. It wasn't as gimmicky. It wasn't as play.
Like he had Westbrook back in the day.
Yeah.
He had there was a lot of different things that were happening back then. And like, he was coaching in 2001, 2002.
Then kept the same format when Mike Vick was there. Mm-hmm. Shady had the same format, but he adapted. There was never a time where he was like, we're going to do what I want to do. I'm going to do what we're going to do what we're going to do. And he just kept that same format when he went to the Chiefs.
So I guess we can like segue then into the Mac Jones, Bailey Zappi thing. Timeout.
So before we do, were there any other baseball topics?
We got rookies we can talk about. We got baseball's been better this year.
More like you can actually like watch a full game.
Yeah, I mean, was there like 6 home runs in this game?
Yeah, actually, right now it's
play.
Oh yeah,
8.
Actually, yeah, because I sure as hell did right off this game.
Yeah.
Oh.
When it was 6 home runs, that was only a 4-point swing.
I don't know how like a pitch clock and a hit clock can affect the game so much, but baseball's way more interesting than what it used to be.
And
I think.
And it's the 7th inning already.
We're only
Damn.
So
they're a lot faster.
Yeah.
You would say probably like one of the biggest complaints with like the casual viewer was the speed of the game, like talking about, because you don't want to watch someone come up to bat.
Bruh, they took forever to bat.
I mean, I can think of specifically Boston, Garcia Parra and Pedroia, would sit up there, they put the bat under their arm, adjust their gloves, rub their hands together. Poppy would spit in both of his gloves. Slap them together, and then we'd be probably like 2 minutes in, and then
pitcher standing there
pitcher standing there picking up the rubbing the rosin.
Not do ready sitting there.
Bagging.
Bro still getting his swing, getting prepped,
doing some side stretches. I mean,
we'll do all that, wait for him to get ready, and then step back off and do all that.
yeah, I come in the batter's box and then the hand goes up and we wait again. So like that was the biggest thing is like you can't sit through 3.5 hours of that.
Oh, it was 3? I thought that junk was 5.
No, it was like 3.5 hours. On the long end, it was like a 3.5 hour.
Because I remember my grandpa, he used to watch that, and I used to sit there with him, and I'd just be watching the game, and literally like what we just joked about, that's what happened.
Yeah.
I'm like, I sit there, I'm like, yo, grandpa, how do you watch this? He's like, it's interesting. I'm like, where? I'm like, fam, the basketball game would have already been at halftime by the time bro would have swung.
And the whole bag stealing thing too. Bags are bigger.
Yeah.
It makes it easier to steal. The pitcher can only check over
Oh,
twice.
is that why
and
bro
the third one, he's got to get him.
Is that why bro kept trying to steal the base? Well, that was the college game, Tennessee and Florida. You remember the pitcher kept throwing it to first.
So you get only 2 of those, and then I think on the third one, if you don't get them, they walk.
Oh, okay.
To the next base.
Makes sense. Okay. I was like, damn, like can this man swing?
So the first couple games, everybody was stealing. It's like, did he throw over twice?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I'm going.
Okay. Damn, it only took this long for baseball to get interesting.
Here's the thing, which I think you can agree with too. We've talked about this a bunch of times, but a sport needs someone that's captivating and interesting. Because that's honestly what we watch for.
Yeah.
We watch for like the
Players.
polarizing do it, like UFC, McGregor, everyone wants to keep track of him.
Mm-hmm.
Baseball, when Bonds was going, it was like, oh, he's a steroid dude, but he put up, 56 home runs?
Mm-hmm.
70? Yeah, it was 70, sorry. So, they need more. He has the Bonds jersey on too, but they need more, like, characters to it.
You got Shohei.
Yeah, Shohei, like...
He throws 1 or 2 and then fucking...
But it's
bombs.
But it's not drawing. I don't feel like it's drawing in the casual fan though.
So
versus like basketball and football.
Like even with like Boston, like you had David Ortiz, like the Big Poppy thing, was always doing something.
Mm-hmm.
Manny was in the outfield. He went to the Green Monster midway through a game to go to the bathroom, and people were laughing at it. Mm-hmm. So like, and you had, like I said, you had Pujols, you had McGuire, Sosa when they were going through their whole steroid thing, trying to like outdo each other. So it's like they are missing that kind of edge to where the casual viewer could.
Derek Jeter and A-Rod.
Jeter and A-Rod.
I feel like once they retired, that's when it just became. It wasn't like dark days for MLB, but it was just like, okay, like who's next or what's next.
And I would say Trout is probably the best pound for pound player in the world.
Mm-hmm.
To watching him is like watching a movie.
Right. I remember when he got drafted, it was Bryson.
And Bryce was a good example too, because he was really polarizing when he came in. No one liked him.
Mm-hmm.
Like this cocky kid, he's like 19, 20 years old. It's like, oh, he's got daddy's money, he does this, he does this, but he's obviously shown that he can play ball.
But at the same time, I think about they've advertised the hell out of all the games. Like they've done everything on their part. I think what you said basically hits the nail on the head. Like they need a polarizing player in the league, and for people to see that, and now with this new implemented style of play that they have now, it's like, oh, okay, now we can watch a game and it can be done within 3 hours.
Mm-hmm. It's like 2 hours.
Oh, 2 hours now? Damn.
But yeah, it is. Yeah,
fast.
Like if you like watch advertisements on like on casual TV, you don't see a lot of baseball players on there.
Because the only time I really I'll see commercials for baseball, but then when it like the All-Star game comes around, then I'll tune in because I'm just like, all right, like they're doing like small events that it's like, oh shoot, like that dude can hit the ball crazy far.
The home run derby, everyone watches the home run derby.
Right.
It's just
but
people,
You got judge too.
Yeah, you have to judge,
But that's the only time.
Yeah.
And then the World Series comes around. I feel like so it's just the All-Star game. So it's similar like basketball.
Yeah.
People will watch when it gets to like All-Star game when they
to the All-Star break.
And then when playoffs roll around and it's like, oh great, all right, cool. But then I feel like that's also the problem.
I honestly think though it's like even saying it like back in my head, I think it's just our like nostalgia showing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's like, yeah, we're talking about like all these dudes from like 10, 15 years ago, but like I'm thinking were people our age doing this like in football, where they're like, oh, there's no Montanas right now, there's no Jerry Rice right now.
Right.
They're probably doing the same thing.
Oh yeah. All heads.
They're like,
this
isn't the same game. Like there's no Jerry Rice on the field right now and all this stuff. So.
But I feel like what our parents were watching and what we're watching, I mean, even though they were different eras, they still kept that hard-nosed, gritty football.
Yeah.
So I feel like now that it's more offensive, and you saw what happened in the Super Bowl. We couldn't stop nothing because they defense no longer wins. It's like of course we're gonna reflect back to when times were different, or when times were good as far as the sport. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But like, so I'll ask you. You think baseball's still like America's pastime? Because it's always been like always supposed to be like America's sport.
I mean, it's not number one.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you can call it America's pastime.
But there was a time when it was. I firmly believe that.
It always held that moniker.
Oh yeah.
Even like Ken Griffey Jr. Like that's another name that popped in my head.
I feel like it's still. Oh, no, I know you asked him the question, but I know. Yeah. I still feel like it is. It just like I feel like as far as the leaps that other leagues made, NBA, even though NBA, they're trying to push everyone in the forefront. It is on a downslide. No one realizes it, but they did make a jump. NFL, same thing. They were going up. I feel like they're overall. I feel like the company is it's hit or miss. But they still made a stride. I feel like MLB was the only one that stayed the same regardless. And I feel like that's why we don't see it as much.
Mm-hmm. It's also totally like a total different sport than any other.
That they are, yeah, they are. And
it's such like a strategic sport. Like you gotta get him on.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta steal here. You know what I mean? So you can get like maybe a single to get him to third, and then you can pop out a fly out. But then get him home. It's super strategic.
But you're such a passionate fan of the sport versus like people. The only time people watch basketball is like for threes and dunks.
Exactly, and a lot of people like would probably just watch baseball for home runs.
Right, but
it's happened a lot.
Right. But prior it was a slow game, you could say, right?
Yeah.
So it's like that's why a lot of people were going to football because that's why they made it an offensive league. So it's like now a regular game is like 42 all, and that's why they'll be like the highest rated game that week.
And like obviously it's like goes for every single sport. Once the playoffs comes around, people will tune in. Even the casuals.
Right.
Like the playoffs last year in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
At work, everyone was talking about like Phillies Astros, like who's gonna win, like I'll bet this. Like everyone's zoned in on it.
Right.
So once the playoffs rolls around, everyone pays attention, but I think they need to capture the regular season.
Oh yeah, but then see that's the thing too, because basketball is going through that transition right now. Mm-hmm. People are like, oh, regular season doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happens in the regular season, but the regular season is important because that determines who goes into the playoffs.
It's different too, because like if you pay attention, like regular season wise to football,
mm-hmm.
basketball, and you pay attention to baseball and even hockey, football like every week is crucial,
right?
Because there's so like less games.
Mm-hmm.
But like in the NBA, like we talked about, I don't even know if we talked about it before this podcast started, but like resting players.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
we talked about last episode.
Yeah, like Kawhi's on a rest. He's taking like a 2-game rest. So it's like, why am I watching the Clippers if Kawhi's not playing? They're probably going to lose.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in football, it's like everyone's starting. You got to put your best players out there. Someone gets hurt. Now there's drama. You know, all this stuff. It's like, I think it's just the size of the games. 162 for baseball and 82 for basketball. It's a long attention span.
But it used to be full of stars back then, though. I think that's a lot of times people aren't as invested now because the truest star now is just LeBron.
Yeah.
Now it's like if there's like two or three stars on that team and they're not playing, no one's gonna watch. It used to be like back then, like with the Grizzlies, Mark Gasol and Zach Randolph, they played, and it was like, oh crap, they're going against OKC with the young big three, and it's like we had that roster where it was so stacked on every team, so that's why we were so invested.
And that's like the super team thing. That's where it took over. It's like,
but I don't even mean the Kanye. Yeah. But back then it wasn't really super teams because those dudes, everyone was drafted or traded.
Yeah.
The only time it was like super teams is like, well, fine, we'll say LeBron in Boston. Like we'll talk about that a different time. But that was the only time. But if you looked like 2 or 3 seasons with that same roster, everyone blew up.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's like you already knew what the Spurs were gonna do. They had that roster. You already knew how LA was coming. You already knew the Clippers sucked. You already knew.
It was a given, yeah.
You already knew Chicago had D-Rose and them boys, but every roster was like that. Now it's just like it's not as star-studded.
Yeah.
You don't have that now. So that's why it's like no one's really invested. It's like, well, if they cut down on the games and with a less star-studded roster, people will watch it.
Yeah. It's the attention span. It's the attention span with everything. Like if a podcast is 3 hours, I'm gonna sit through all of it. There's 162.
Depends on who's on there though.
I've sat through some.
Have you sat through some 3 hours? Dude, oh man.
I've sat through some 3 hours.
Even the Batman movie, like the latest one with Robert Pattinson, I went to theaters to see that for 3 hours.
I fell asleep. I fell asleep through some of it, but I woke up during. I woke up before that car chasing scene.
Okay, that's a good time to wake up.
I'm glad I did.
That was a good scene.
Because them dudes they were driving, and I was like, I woke up and I was like, oh man, what?
Do you miss him start it though?
No,
that's my favorite part.
No, I didn't miss the start.
When he starts it in the background.
Yeah.
And he kicks
it's a good movie too. Like I did pay attention through it, but it was just hard to sit through because I'm like I knew going in. I'm like, damn, this is like over 3 hours.
And we did see the late showing too, so it didn't help.
Oh, that was
It's also not like the most like
attention grabbing.
He's beat the shit out of people every other minute. You
know?
Well, but then it was to me it was just the dialogue. It wasn't like anything that like grabbed your attention. It was just like him just talking, and then I saw more Batman than Bruce Wayne.
Well, this is also this was supposed to be like detective Batman.
So that's why it was more.
Yeah, it's more slow, you know.
Well, cause I don't know what time. I think we saw that one. I think we got there at like 10:30, 11. But we saw it at the theater over here, and we had a recliner, so that's probably why I just had to knock it out. Oh, shut up.
Actually, I saw that movie twice.
Oh, did you?
I went to see it the second time, dude.
Oh,
got in my fucking seat, and the fucking recliner was broken.
Did you? Was there open?
Yes, there was people next to me.
Oh damn!
So I just had to sit like this the whole time.
Damn!
Everybody else was like this. I sit like this.
Yeah, I know your back was hurting. That. It was right when it dropped too. I was about to say.
It wasn't right exactly when it dropped, but it was close to it.
Oh, okay. Oh, like a couple weeks after release date or whatever.
Yeah.
I was about to say, I was like, damn, it shouldn't have still been packed. When we went, I don't even remember if it was packed. I think it was. But we had like the first, like as soon as you hit the walkway, we just had those seats like right there in front. So.
Top Gun too. That's a long movie, but that's a good movie.
Yeah. Yo, is a stream? No, the stream isn't lagging.
It's about behind.
If it's a little bit behind, that's fine.
It's not laggy, it's just behind.
Oh, that's fine. Cool. I wish I would have figured that out. I'm mad. I wish I would have figured that out earlier.
A long time ago.
Yeah, that's my fault. I literally had it. I saw it on my phone. I was like, bro, why didn't I just try doing it off the phone?
See, like this wasn't a thing like 2 years ago.
Back.
This game's 11 to 9.
Oh yeah, this is a lot closer.
Yeah.
A lot closer.
Is it 9?
Maybe I was looking at the hit column. I was looking at the.
No, I was gonna say there was a lot of runs discussed for.
I was about to say,
I was about to say.
Like they got off on a huge run.
He's jacked too.
All right.
There's a lot of jack.
Yeah.
Look at the umps even jack.
That's what I'm saying, Phil. Everybody.
You know what else they did too? I don't know if you saw it. Was the ump cam? Did you see that?
The ump cam. Maybe one.
It's a good perspective because it's like you're the batter. Like it's even has like a camera on his chest, and you can see how fast the ball's coming and everything. Like it's a good like change of pace.
Oh, they sure as hell going on. They are sure updating themselves with the times.
So did you see in minor league the challenge? There's a hit tracker, so they can challenge balls and strikes.
Oh.
So I feel like they should have did this jump years ago when games were like on the line.
What do you think of like someone brought this up, like an electronic umpire to eliminate the balls and strikes issue? So like, so you see the hit box, right? So that ball, like let's say it's way over to the left, it's not in the box, but the umpire calls it strike. And the dude's mad because he can see it better than the umpire can sometimes. So if they had like an electronic one that like buzzed when it was like not over the plate, or you know it made a noise when it was like right over the plate and it was a strike, then like I think that eliminates
like a goal sound.
Yeah, like a goal sound or something, and not anything obnoxious, but like a ping if it's in the strike zone, or like if it's out. I think it would eliminate a lot of because there's a lot of games that have ended where the dude just looks, he's like, oh, it's a ball, and the umpire's like, no, you're out, strike.
Can we talk about that minor league game where the ump made a terrible call and
I've seen 3 terrible calls.
That was terrible.
There's some of them are just absolute dog shit.
That was, and he just walked up like he didn't even explain himself. He just called it and just left.
Yeah.
I think it was last year the San Francisco Giants. The game ended on a check swing that was checked, and he called him out. So you're out. Sorry.
So do you think though, like,
There's a playoff.
Oh, okay.
if you eliminated that, right? Because that's always been a thing in every sport, is the referee or the umpire or whatever
Another one. Jesus.
making another home run. Wander Franco.
Hey, they getting that test tomorrow, boy. Random drug test.
Do you think though that would eliminate some of the fun from the game? Like it doesn't seem fun at the time, but like that gives us something to argue about. Like you see that ref call, like he was out of bounds or whatever.
Yeah.
Like if you eliminate it,
I feel like it's part of the game.
it's kind of part of the game.
Yeah.
Like as much as we want to admit it, like it gives us something to bitch about. Like the next day, like
it does, but it's like, damn, how many games were just decided off of a call? So
that
that's
Calvin
why
Johnson touchdown. Don't even.
Oh yeah, let's.
That was the worst thing I've ever seen.
Super Bowl.
Oh, he picked that shit. He picked the fuck up.
Hunter Henry caught the ball. That's another one this year. But.
Yeah, Super Bowl. Yeah, let's not talk about it. But yeah, it is a part of the game. But at the same time, it does eliminate games being decided by trash calls.
Yeah, it does.
I think you could.
I mean, yeah, you charge it to the game. It's part of the game, but at the same time, it's like you can't help but like. To me, no matter how a game should end, it should never end on a call. It should never.
Damn.
It should never be ended on a call, in my opinion.
No. I think. So they do the review with what was it, under 2 minutes, right? Football.
Mhm.
So if they did something like that with
Baseball.
penalties or baseball, 9th inning, a certain time frame where you can review a referee or an umpire's call.
Now
that could happen.
that's fine, and it has to come from like a booth review in football. It has to come from that.
Yeah, like no challenges under 2.
Yeah, you can't challenge that. I feel like if they implemented that would eliminate all the wrong.
Because we could still bitch about like the 4th inning call where it was a strike, or second quarter that wasn't a touchdown.
Yeah.
But if something happened in the 4th quarter where it's going to decide a game, they could review it and send it to the booth, and it's not going to really dent the game or cause that much disruptance. Like if it's like a 7-point game, or if it's a 1-run game, and that's going to be the difference maker, send that shit to the booth.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah.
I think that's something they can think about.
I agree. We gonna let him get his Mac Jones.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, he been itching to get that off.
I need Nick here at some point because I need someone else to like.
Nick is on a cruise.
He's on a cruise. I didn't even know that.
He's on a boat.
He's on a boat.
Well, go ahead and
So we'll talk about it.
get your clip off.
So first off, I want to start by saying this. There's been a lot of reports. There's been like 8 different reports from 8 different people.
I counted 11.
11.
11.
He's got all the screenshots for every tweet. But there's been a lot of reporters that have started this like Mac Jones, Bill Belichick, they hate each other, and then it started with the Zappy Mac Jones thing. I don't know if I read into it that much, especially lately it's been they're trying to shop Mac Jones.
Oh yeah.
And then they went a little deeper and someone else reported that wasn't true. Who knows? But do I think there's a divide within that locker room? 100%.
Oh, 100%.
Do I think...
Look, Belichick has not stood up for your boy yet.
Do I think Belichick likes Mac Jones?
No. Let's be honest. Did he like Tom Brady? Let's be honest.
I think he liked him when they were winning. And I don't think he likes Mac Jones because they're not winning.
I think he tolerated Brady as long as they won.
He liked Tom Brady in the beginning, but I think when Brady became bigger than the team, I think he started to resent him. He started to resent him specifically when Garoppolo got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he wanted Garoppolo, but Robert Kraft's like, "What are you doing? Brady's 38. We're still like Super Bowl contender every single year. You want to get rid of him right now? No way." But so
Bill said Bill having balls.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Oh, word? Oh, you think I don't care? We won all these chips.
No.
It's still my team."
Yeah. The big thing right now too that came out, I don't know if you saw it, but I guess Mac, and I don't know how true it is. Again, these are all reports, but went to some of his Alabama coaches and asked how to fix the offense because he was so lost with Matt Patricia. Mm-hmm. And you know Bill doesn't like that. So, you're going above me.
I mean, but bro, let's be honest, Matt Patricia?
Yeah, it's Matt Patricia.
That's
Matt Patricia.
Really? Out of anybody who could have been shocked to be an OC, Matt freaking Patricia. I would have had Josh McDaniels calling the boom checked out for 5 yards a game than Matt Patricia.
So, Josh McDaniels calls the place his rookie season. He throws 22 touchdowns, 13 picks.
Come on.
Throws over 3,500 yards. For a rookie, that's not bad.
Did he have one of the year?
No, he got a Pro Bowl.
That's tough.
But so you had a competent offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
That did something with him. Those are good rookie numbers, at least, right? Something to build off of. They bring in a defensive coach that screwed Detroit over royally.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Yeah, we're going to make you call the plays." And that goes back to his old mentality where he wants his people, his yes men, around him. He's had Matt Patricia on that coaching staff since like 2006.
So
he's like, "Hey, buddy, I'm going to give you the job."
So Bill Belichick, low-key got CTE?
Probably. And he's got the dementia.
Man, this is my. So I feel like this is the biggest power trip I've ever seen a coach.
With this, when have you ever seen the Patriots leak this much stuff?
Never.
Have you ever?
Y'all never kiss and tell. Like anything that happened. The only time you ever hear anything that happened with the Patriots was either with injuries, Super Bowls, or when players left. And they was like, "Yo, they treat us like it's a sweatshop.
Yeah.
No disrespect."
So, yeah, that's it. So, but now everything's coming out like, Mac Jones, half the locker room's divided. They want Zapier, they want Jones. So that's never happened. So something's going on inside that locker room where everything's just leaking, right?
I think someone in there left the record. Left the record.
Tell me how you really feel. Slide that to the middle of the
they
table.
put the little record down. Oh.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah.
I just think I don't think there's a real debate because you don't draft a quarterback 15th overall, and now going into his third year, and you're going to pick the dude that was drafted in the 6th round out of Eastern Kentucky or Western Kentucky, wherever he's at.
Yeah.
There's no debate, but it tells me something that this much is getting leaked, and that I do believe when Zappy was playing and they were winning, they were like, "Oh, we kind of want this guy." You know what I mean? He's a little more team-oriented. He shuts his mouth. He's more of a Belichick player than Mac is.
Let's be honest. So if Bailey Zappi shits the bed, they're gonna treat him the same way, and it's gonna be an infinite loop like y'all did Brady. Y'all was cool with Brady till his head got too inflated to where it's like, okay, we don't need Brady. Now Brady left, and then now it's gonna be the same thing with Mac, and then it's gonna be the same thing with Bailey. So I think Bill Belichick needs to get off his high horse.
I think Bill Belichick, after the season, is no longer going to be the coach of the New England Patriots.
Yeah, because
it depends on how the season goes.
I think it depends on the season, but if they miss the playoffs, no way he comes back.
I mean, if y'all, let's be
72 years old.
I'm really listen. I am really not talking shit. You can say whatever you want about my team. If y'all make the playoffs, y'all getting bounced first round.
No, I can see that. Well, it's like they made the playoffs Mac's rookie year, but they lost to Buffalo 49-13.
And then y'all lost to Buffalo again. And then
they haven't beat Buffalo. I don't even remember the last time they beat Buffalo.
And
there was a snow game last season, the season before this one, and there was like 20-mile-an-hour winds, and it was just like a lucky win.
And then Jets still haven't confirmed A-Rod as a QB, so y'all might catch a break, but still, yeah, A-Rod is dragging his feet.
And I will defend the Patriots in this way. They have an AFC East with Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have a Dolphins team that has Tyreek Hill on it. Now has Jalen Ramsey on the defense. If Tua's healthy the whole year, he's a good quarterback. Now you bring in Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. We still have Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall coming back, Sauce Gardner on defense, Quentin Williams. They got a good team. Who are they going to get to go past even the Jets? There's no one. So you might as well just ride the season out. Hopefully you catch a break. Maybe you finish 10-7, and they're like, okay, what's the best you can do?
I'm gonna be honest with you. And this is like we could talk about this. We could probably talk about this next episode. I really don't think Tua's coming back. I don't think he'll play next season.
He's got to start the season, though, no? They picked up his 5th year.
They did, but y'all really think he's healthy enough to go back out there right now?
No, but he's going to.
He will, yeah. There's no way they're not going to let him play. But what's to stop him from what we've seen to get another concussion?
I predict.
Yeah, but what's also to say that they're not going to make him go out?
Oh, they will.
He's already had it worse. You know what I mean? You can't walk straight.
See,
back issue.
So yeah, we'll definitely talk about this next episode. I think, and this will just be my last point. I think he will. Two things will either happen. Either he'll get through the season barely, or he'll get hit in the head, and then they'll pull him, and then he'll just be questionable.
Now they have the issue, and they had this benefit in the old, 10, 20 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Someone gets a concussion, they can brush it to the side. No one was focused on it as much.
But then they end up being effed up and then offing themselves later in a whole hotel room. And I didn't mean to Kanye you, but it's like that's the end result. And I'm afraid that he'll get to that point where it's like, no, Devin, you're right though. He had it worse, but to me, what's saying that he's one more hit away from
3 concussions within 12 months is absurd.
That's what I'm saying.
It wasn't even 12 months.
So it's like as a Dolphins fan, do we want Tua to come back? Obviously, y'all don't want him to come back for obvious playoff advantage.
He's a good quarterback.
But as a fan and as a person, do you believe that he will be able to go through a season? I should probably look up their schedule just to see the defense they're playing. But do you think he should come back?
I think as a fan, you want him to come back, but as a human being, no.
You brought that up. The first person I thought of was Junior Seau. How bad he must have been up here to shoot himself in the chest so they could save his brain.
Bro, and Mans was a monster on the defensive end. But how many hits did he... he was doling out hits. But that was a different era where it was just bump it. You just get the man down. Yeah. Ray Lewis was knocking dudes' heads off. James Harrison was a what? He was tearing dudes' heads off literally.
It's
so it's even though you still remove the violence from defense, the barbaricness from the defense, you're still taking those hits.
I just don't see how they can let him go back out there with that many concussions.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I would say this, and I would be like, as a team, I'd go to Tua. You want to play? You tell us what to do. Yeah. Because they mismanaged his health all last season.
I feel like, I don't know if you can ask him that. I think you need to go to a doctor and be like, hey, can he play?
Do a quick brain scan. They need to send him through some tests.
They need to do a lot of tests.
I just feel bad. I feel bad, man, because I'm he's so young.
But you see though, because it's because they mismanaged his health so bad to where he had a concussion for how long? And it was just like that. So that's why I'm like...
It was twice. It was the first game, I might have been against the Panthers, might have been wrong.
Or the Ravens, I think.
It might have been the Ravens where he stood up and he starts going like this, and they're like, oh, that was a back contusion. No, he couldn't walk straight, man.
And then the Bengals game.
It was the Bengals game, which obviously you had no choice. His fingers were like this. And then it was the Packers game. It was on Thanksgiving or Christmas. I don't remember. I think it was Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Where you see him fall, he hits his head, and then he throw like 2 picks and threw for like 50 yards after that because he probably didn't know where he was at. That training staff mismanaged the hell out of him.
Right.
And now he's like 25, 26 years old, 3 concussions in a season. So to answer your question though, no, he probably should not be playing.
Yeah. Right. But
he should be playing. But
you're right though. Like you ask doctors, you ask all the brain neurologists. It's like, yo, like is he capable? Because at this point, it's like, to me, I'm thinking, because we have all the information now. Back then, we didn't.
No.
We didn't have all this information. So that's why it's like, we're making a big deal of it, because now this is life.
I was honestly what I was going to say is like, now you're dealing with like, is this dude going to want to like, off himself by the time he's 50 because he doesn't remember what he's doing?
What's saying that something could happen to him during the season?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What if something happens during the season and something happens to him?
Right.
Who are you putting that on?
Right.
What if we get another Bengals game where he hits his head and his fingers or he's on his head, he's on his face and he can't get up? I mean, what are we gonna do?
And we can really say the same thing for DeMar Hamlin too, because he wants to play, but it's like, bro, what's saying that you could take another spear to the chest again? Yeah. You play defense.
You absolutely. I think any doctor will tell you this. There's weakness now in his chest.
Yeah.
His heart. There has to be. You came that close to death. There's a weakness in there. So if you get hit again, or is that going to make the opposing team be like, I can't hit him too hard because I might, do something hit. Yeah.
You can't. And now you can't throw your shoulder into dudes now because that's targeting. What like as people, it's now to the point where if you are not 100% playing this game, what can you do? There's no loopholes. There's no, well, I'll just do this. Like, there's none of that.
And like people get mad sometimes because they're like, oh, the game got soft. Well, the game didn't get soft per se.
Smart.
It got smart because we watch football on a Sunday because we enjoy it, but like
these are human beings.
These are human beings that might want to like end it all in 10 years because they can't remember what they ate for breakfast. Like, it's past that. So whatever we got to do to make sure these dudes live longer.
Yeah.
I think that's,
How many players we know that we see on old Madden games? Oh yeah, he used to do this and that.
There's a lot of dudes that you'll play Madden from like 06. You're like, oh, he passed away. Oh, he passed away. And it's from like,
Still like Vincent Jackson. That one was still like out of nowhere. I'm like,
Jackson.
yo, like what?
And he was what, like 40? Like he had just got finished.
These dudes are still young. They're only like 10 years.
And
like
they
10,
had
12 years
they
older.
had kids. They had wives. They
Bro,
had
what?
family. Yeah.
These are dudes you be seeing at the old stadium. Like, oh shoot, like what? It's crazy.
And like what? I don't want to be like. If it happens, it might happen. If somebody dies on the field.
Come on, like
what do you do then? You shut the NFL down, like.
Well, we saw how we don't need to get too deep into it, but I saw how they reacted with DeMar Hamlin, and I think we've probably talked about it off camera. But I'm like, no, they didn't shut the game down right away. Like they knew how bad it was.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone on the field knew how bad it was, and they're like, oh, let's put a delay on the game. But like this dude is about to die. Obviously, someone relayed it, and they were like, hey, he didn't have a pulse, or like, hey, we could barely get him to breathe, like, and they were still like, oh, we might play the game. It's like,
bro, real shit. If you see that, if you see that firsthand,
yes, there you go.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's a Monday night game, big game, playoff implications for home field.
But as players, you can't go back out there and be like, oh, let's go back out there and win this game. No, because that could be me, that could be you, that could be anybody.
They were crying on the sidelines because this is their brother.
Yeah.
That they've spent every practice with, that they talk with, they sit next to in the locker room.
Yeah, bro.
And you want to go back out there like.
These are real people these are real people with real lives. There's no way, like, if you could possibly, like, I'm not going to want to bring my team, I'm not giving my team a pep talk and be like, yo, we're just going to go back out there because that could be us.
Yeah.
And like. If Tua goes back out there and gets hurt, and DeMar goes back out there and gets hurt, and then how many people are going to look at the game and be like, I don't want to play that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go play something else.
Yeah. Like, Sean McDermott, who you got to think has, like, coached this dude, has talked with this dude, has a personal relationship. He's the head coach of the team.
His family.
Has met his family, who knows him on a personal level. You get to know your players. And you almost saw him die on the field, and it's like, oh, let's take a little delay. Let's maybe go back out there.
I'm not putting my team back out there, especially if I'm the head coach.
No,
we're not going back out there.
No. But yeah, it's a bad situation. It's just a sign of the times. I think it's a good thing though that we're more aware of it.
Right,
Yeah.
but it's like it's getting, and this is probably where it like meets its crossroad with like people are just like, oh well, don't stop the game. It's like you're not thinking about how this affect. I would rather you stop a game and not continue to play it and just end in a tie or whatever, just to know that people are still alive and they can play next week.
Like, that goes back, I think, Skip Bayless was the one that started all that.
God.
He was like, well, we gotta talk about it because, like, yeah, we feel sorry for DeMar, but this is a big game. It's like, no, dude, like I said, we're watching the game. It's entertainment. If something happens to that severity, life comes first. It's the same thing with our jobs, right? Something comes up in our personal life, that comes first before our job. It always will. So
it is a job.
it's a job.
It's a job.
It's a job.
To me, I don't mean to cut you off.
No,
to
you're
me,
good.
those who played the game, regardless of what level, and those who haven't, like I think that's where it really comes down to. Skip has barely played any sports at that level. We like even though we played high school, we know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I feel like we sort of get more of a say, and it's like, well, that could have been any of us, regardless of what age. We're not gonna go back out there.
No.
If we saw that as high school kids,
Yeah.
and it's like, yo, like, and then they brought the ambulance onto the car. Like, are we really gonna want to play? Let's be honest. Are we really gonna want to play at that age?
That's what's making you think because we're high school kids. Exactly. We got like that's the beginning of our future.
Right.
We're 16, 17 years old, and we saw some big hits. We all did.
Yes.
And it might not have happened to us directly, but we saw some hits and we're like, whoa.
Yes.
That dude just got laid out.
And the dude,
Yeah.
who inflicted that injury never got off the field. So what the hell makes you think I want to go on the field with someone who basically a damn murderer?
Yeah. That has no regard. And here's the thing: it's like they're playing the game. They gotta hit hard. If they hit hard and they have that natural ability, then cool. But like, yeah, like what's stopping him from doing the same thing to me?
Exactly.
There's nothing. It's that mentality. But
Yeah, it's also the fact that like the NFL is like looking at them as like an investment.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, he's all right. Take him out, put another person in. He just like almost died.
Yeah.
Well, he can't play, can he? No. Take
They-
him out, put another person in.
And they play next week.
Why would I want to play for something that doesn't value my life?
Exactly.
yeah,
I'm just gonna go play baseball.
Yeah, well, because we're paying you all that money, like regardless, like you're still gonna play regardless.
Yeah, exactly. That's like the whole Tua thing. Oh, he's our quarterback, so
yeah.
get him back out there.
We can't put Skylar Thompson in. We gotta put Tua back in. Like,
Yeah.
we gotta win games. Yeah.
But it's to me it's like it's life or death. So it's like,
What are we to do? Yeah.
oh my God. Hell, at this point, if we're really about the shield and we care about player safety, you wouldn't play them. You wouldn't force them. You would still pay them on that contract. You wouldn't null and void nothing out. You would maybe restructure a contract to be like, all right, you're still missing these games. You're still gonna make this much money. If you truly care about these people.
On like a lesser extent, with like the whole Lamar Jackson thing. So when he had like his knee or ankle injury?
Knee.
His knee injury, right? Last season, there were a lot of people that were like, "Oh, he's soft. He needs to tape it up. He needs to get back out there."
And then we saw what happened to RG3.
And RG3 chimed in on it. He tweeted. He was like,
Yeah, I saw
"Take it
that.
from me, my
Yeah.
career. Like, who knows what he would have been without that knee injury?"
He would have been. He probably would have been. Not the second coming of Mike Vick, but he probably would have been like a. I don't want to say maybe like a B version.
Like-
I don't want to say he would have been great.
Not Hall of Fame level, but like
He would have been.
they they go to the playoffs. He wins Rookie of the Year. ACL just gets ripped apart.
Mhm.
So that limits half of his game. He was a mobile quarterback, right? So he's obviously going to be hesitant going forward because he knew what that was like, what he felt. He wore the brace after that and everything. So you can't just, I mean, like, there's a lot of money on the line for these dudes, too. Like, take away the head, take away, like, so you start putting, like, knees into it, shoulders into it. There's money on the line for these dudes, and they got to get paid. They got to feed their families. It's been their dream to be in the league. So why are they risking themselves for that? The league doesn't care about them, so they need to care about themselves.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have crapped on Lamar for it because they're like, oh, he just wants money, He's sitting down because he wants money. Well, yeah. What, we all want money if we're that talented?
And
You know, it's I don't know.
and y'all signed a franchise tag to keep me, so I'm not even making money.
No.
And you want me to tear my knee up just so as we can
Yeah.
get to the playoffs?
So imagine he goes back out there in that playoff game against Cincinnati, blows his knee out. He's forgotten about.
Oh,
Lamar's hurt. They're gonna forget about it.
put him on the shelf.
Yeah, that's like a 1 year, $8 million contract to prove himself as a backup. No, I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. Does he want too much money right now? Oh, yeah.
I mean,
But
I played on what he's this would be his 6th year. I played 6 years with the same team. Didn't even restructure my contract.
no.
All that stuff. Well, that part's on him. We can talk about that another time.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that's a whole different thing with like how the Ravens view him. We'll get into that next episode.
yeah. We'll definitely talk about that next time. But yeah, I'm not risking my health, my long-term health.
But it's also like you know, these like super dangerous jobs that people get paid a lot of money for.
Yeah.
It's basically football.
Just take away the contact.
The more money you get is because people don't want to do the job, so you
Yeah.
get paid for it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was a thing too that came out. It was like, oh, how many like normal average Joes could complete like 2 passes in an NFL game if they played all 4 quarters?
0.
I don't think there's a lot.
This part.
When you are in the pocket and you have what Bosa coming at you,
Yeah.
when you have 6'5", 290 coming at you, are you gonna complete a pass to a dude that's covered up at the cornerback that's probably gonna pick you up?
That's what you see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's a-
saw that.
yeah.
One of my boys, he was like, "Oh, I forget how many he said." I was like, "Fam, let's be honest, we're not completing one.
No.
Like, we'll be lucky to get the ball
Yeah.
out. To be honest with you,
Like these players have like something built into them to where like they can feel like if I'm facing this way
Yep,
and I can see this,
yep.
they can feel like this dude.
They got a timer in the
I-
back of
It's
their
like
head.
all like in the ear, like just like a sixth sense that's like, yeah, you can tell like
Yeah.
on the blind side.
Yeah, because first of all, I had to break it down. I said, "Fam, you're not even making it out of the pre-snap read." I had to get real technical. I'm like, "You're not making that proper pre-snap read. You like, let's be honest. Like, do you even know what the quarterback doing right now? Do you know what
Yeah.
his read is? Let's be honest. Do you know?"
At the line, like, and that's why Peyton Manning is probably one of the greatest like audible on line of all
And
time.
that was all out from under the snap,
Yeah.
under center.
He sees what 12 dudes in front of him, and he's like, he knows he's reading it as he's talking, and there's a play clock going on behind him and everything. He's got people screaming, and he's just reading. He's audibling.
Snap the
That's-
ball, and that's a touchdown. After all that bullshit, I was like, you might be able to complete one in the shotgun.
Oh yeah.
I was
You
like,
sit back there.
He catch up.
You got a couple blockers in front.
yeah, you
A bad D line. Yeah.
they can talk about all those completions out of the shotgun.
You can at least get one off.
You can hit Buddy in the flat for 3
Yeah.
yards. That's all you're
You
getting.
can hit the running back going out for a little slant.
That's it.
Yeah, little dump off pass. That's it. Yeah.
You're not getting nothing past that linebacker. I'm saying I ain't getting. I mean, obviously I ain't getting shit off, but I ain't getting.
Wait for the comeback.
No, that was my problem. I got off the line.
That
That was my problem. I got off the line. My lady said, "Get over here."
What do you think is the hardest sport? Or nah, not the hardest sport. The hardest thing to do in a sport.
Stay healthy.
That's a good question. I would say.
No, that stay healthy.
Would you go?
Which other?
Would you say? This is a wild curveball. Would you say goaltending hockey?
Oh, the position in the sport? Like, what's the?
Like, what's like?
Thing to do? Like, be a goaltender, hit a fucking 103-mile-an-hour fastball.
Oh.
That's a.
I don't know. You gotta think the puck's coming at you and how
That's
fast. So.
coming real fast.
I would say maybe goaltending, like to stop the
And you
puck.
have
Yeah,
really all you're saying
I
is this, and you have like this much.
Yeah, because you got like 10
Pads
pounds of
and
padding on,
pads on.
and you're here, and you're trying, and like you see a 100-mile-an-hour puck coming at you, trying to gauge where it's gonna go. Yeah,
I mean, same thing for a soccer goalie, right?
Mm-hmm.
But more intense for hockey. I get that.
A soccer goalie too, because like I mean they've shown like POVs for like a goalie.
Yeah.
In soccer, like
you got to time.
You got to follow the ball. You don't know who's going to do something wild. Yeah.
I mean, because at that point, you're not you can't even watch the kicker's eyes. It's like you have to anticipate the direction. Like either you're doing hella film study or you just have to know. Like okay, you're gonna like it's a mental chess game. Like because as soon as the ball leaves the turf, I mean obviously it's gonna curve, but you have to know where to be.
Also, hockey too, though. Like, I feel like hockey's harder than soccer.
No, I
may be biased, but like, goalie's here, right?
Yeah.
There's 3 bodies.
Yeah.
There's the dude with the puck over here. Is he gonna shoot it, or is he gonna pass it to the dude over there at like 50 miles an hour who's gonna shoot a 100-mile-an-hour shot at me? You know what I mean?
And how many
with precision?
How many game-saving goals have been blocked for like the leg sweep right there?
Yeah.
Like the little
or
a little leg extension and it saved the game. Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, that's tough. Damn, this game over.
Yeah, I was Sheesh.
Undefeated still. Shout out the Rays.
What do you want to there's two things I was trying to figure out which one we should do first.
Oh crap, we still gotta talk about the Iowa LSU controversy.
I was gonna say that, or we could do the WWE UFC merger. You want to finish with the LSU?
Yeah, we'll finish with LSU.
Okay. The whole "you can't see me" thing we were talking about earlier.
Shout out to Masters.
Yeah, we get into that. So what's going on with? So I vaguely saw it. But I didn't read anything. I just saw a report that they were merging. Is it because Vince McMahon is selling the company?
So Vince McMahon's selling the company.
Mm-hmm.
He's been trying to shop the company for a while.
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy considering it's been in the family since like the 60s, 70s.
Mm-hmm.
But there's pretty much a company that already owned the UFC and they own like all the entertainment rights and everything. Mm-hmm. And then they bought WWE. So now it's like a merger and it's like a $21 billion merger between the two companies. So it's not like you're going to see them hold events together, but obviously they're under the same umbrella of ownership.
So you might get, crossovers?
I would say you're going to get crossovers. I think you're going to get, like, on the UFC pay-per-view, you're going to get, don't forget to watch WWE SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Like, stuff like that, cross-promotion.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good for both of them because
I can see some crossovers.
I can see some
dudes who don't have fights booked for like a while, they could do like a little stint. I mean, I don't know. I can see it.
I feel like it's kind of one-sided.
But they both have their bases though.
You can get a UFC fighter in the wrestling ring, but you're not getting a wrestler in the.
Because that happened. Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley.
So
Brock was UFC first.
But you're getting them in.
No, he was WWE first.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was WWE. Yeah, he was WWE, and then after, and then that whole fallout with Vince and WWE, then he went to UFC, and then same thing with Bobby Lashley. He was a wrestler first,
and then left, and then he wanted to pursue MMA,
and then he came
Batista
back to WWE. Yeah. So they'll typically start out as wrestlers.
But you know how like in the UFC events, like they'll pan to the crowd, they'll show the celebrities. So you show Roman Reigns with both the belts, hype it up a little bit. Oh, he's defending his belts this Sunday, blah, blah, blah. Gives you something to talk about. So I think that's what it'll be. It's not going to be like, we're going to put Roman Reigns against, John Jones in the heavyweight division. But it's going to be like, just kind of cross-promotion. They're under the same umbrella. I think we can all agree Conor McGregor would do very well in WWE. If he went there, he's a very, showman-oriented kind of guy.
I can see that.
Jack City now, so.
Yeah, I mean, you could see, but if he would show up on a pay-per-view, it would go way up.
Oh, what?
If you see Conor McGregor and he's advertised for SummerSlam, even UFC people are gonna watch it.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing for both of them to branch out their horizon. UFC dudes that are fans, diehard fans, don't like WWE because it's fake.
But they still watch it. Let's be honest.
They still watch it. They keep up with it. You get a UFC fighter in there. You get a UFC fighter in there.
Well, you might be the exception, but they still watch it.
But if you get a UFC fighter, a big name, they're gonna at least put eyes on it. They're gonna be like, oh, I wonder what he's gonna do. Yeah,
because bro, let's be honest. Everybody was a WWE fan first, then UFC. You didn't have to be a super fan, but you was like, all right, I'll tune into some shows. Yeah. And then UFC roll around. Okay, now I'm in the UFC.
Yeah, I've never watched a UFC show. Or not a UFC show, sorry. WWE.
Oh, I'm sorry?
No.
What?
No.
What?
No.
What?
I believe that too. He's always
What?
No.
What?
Like you've watched highlights.
Oh yeah, watch that.
Yeah, but
Oh
not
my
like.
goodness.
90s highlights, not any highlights. I'm not watching anything now.
That's tough.
But it's the same thing. So like, Pat McAfee is very well involved with WWE right now.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a very well-known podcast listened to by millions of people.
That's another thing we should talk about too, because that's been in the news. But go ahead, my fault.
But like, he gets a lot of eyes on the product. Like, there's people I've talked to. They're like, oh yeah, like I did see like a little bit of it because Pat McAfee was on it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay, so you do the same thing with UFC.
Mm-hmm.
You put a UFC fighter or two. You know, you advertise him. He's going to come out and talk to everyone, or he's going to be in the crowd. People are going to at least watch it or keep an ear to it. So it's a good investment for both of them. And like, I think of all the companies that could have bought the WWE for their long-term future, it's probably the best situation they could have been in. Because they were talking about like Disney buying it, or like, you know, all these random places. I'm like, that is not going to be good for them long-term.
Yeah.
Now you have two they're both like, UFC is obviously not like entertainment based, but they want eyes on their product. So you have two companies that are kind of coming together that know what they want, and I think it's going to be good for them long term.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
So UFC or Dana White has WWE, UFC and Power Slap now.
so it's a little different because they're not. Dana White's not over WWE. Vince is ultimately going to be over WWE still. So it'll be Vince and Dana, but they know each other well. They respect each other, obviously.
They're
They're
together,
billionaires.
basically.
Yeah, they're back together. So they're going to find ways to, like, plug their stuff. Like I said, at big events, name drop someone, UFC will name drop someone, and they'll do it that way. Because, like I said, it's not going to be a good thing if Roman Reigns goes in there and fights John Jones. No one wants that.
Yeah, you're gonna be folded.
It's gonna be more of an entertainment thing from WWE side.
Mm-hmm.
Bring in the name, trash talk a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I could beat your ass. I could do this, and then let them kind of do with that what they will. But it's I wouldn't say they're both stale, but they're not. Obviously, WWE is definitely not as big as it used to be. UFC could use some kick. They've died down slightly.
A little bit.
After Connor left, it took a.
When Connor was there,
dive.
millions of people were like.
It's basically like you said earlier. They still need that polarizing figure, even though.
John Jones is better.
Yeah.
Yeah, that helps a lot. And they had the Diaz brothers, and then obviously.
Well, they also had Francis, and now Francis is gone. So
Yeah. They need some polarizing figures to kind of keep up with.
Usman, I think he.
Yeah, he just lost.
Yeah, so it's like the big names who were dominant, now they're starting to show that they're human.
But like, Brock on WWE,
Mm-hmm.
Brock on UFC. That's a good kind of crossover. I know they talked about Brock versus John Jones for the longest time.
he's too old.
He's probably too old, but it's like can you imagine the numbers they would do?
Oh, it'd be stupid.
Brock versus John Jones for the UFC heavyweight title?
Yeah,
Oh my god.
But then it's like, does Brock want to go through that prep again? Like,
That's
does
a good point.
Like, because like if that were the case, then we wouldn't see Brock on the main titles.
Like, if they really wanted to go money grab,
Mhm.
ultimate crossover, they put the WWE title on Brock,
Mm-hmm.
and they have him walk out with it against John Jones. Like, that's like ultimate, like, give me the money.
Or like get John Jones to wrestle, and like just
Yeah.
because since it's all fake anyway,
Yeah.
he's really not gonna like hurt himself just to go out there just for a match.
And obviously, like, if Brock's in the ring, they could, like, obviously take care of each other because they respect each other and they know.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, yeah, if you did something like, you put John Jones on WWE TV with the heavyweight title,
Mm-hmm.
or you put Brock Lesnar with the belts on UFC, I think that helps him out tremendously. So it's a good merger.
Yeah.
To go back to that point, but
Before we get into this LSU, you actually reminded me with the whole Pat McAfee. So, as we all know, the ESPN, the Sports Center, it's been dying. Like the new sports era or the genre, it's dying.
mm-hmm.
We've been seeing a lot more people on YouTube, just as far as covering sports media, they've been prospering. I think because heavily we're all tired of the clickbait. We're all tired of the misinformation. We're tired of people putting their personal opinions into something that really should just be kept in sports.
Yeah.
So Stephen A. and I definitely forgot one of the other guys' names. They used to be on ESPN together. They actually
Max Kellerman.
Or no. There's another dude. I forget. He used to do a different segment on ESPN.
Okay.
So they basically got into it. The guy I really wish I remembered his name. He basically blamed Stephen A. for the reason why what we're doing right now. He basically accused Stephen A. of having all these people who do not have a background in sports media be able to cover sports media so well. And he's saying that Stephen A. was the reason for everyone else to have a voice, which isn't true. And Stephen A. said that. I think the reason why sports media is doing so well because we want the truth. We want to know. We don't want to hear your opinion. I mean, but sports has always been a thing. I don't know why people try to gatekeep sports. Like, it's like, I never understood it. It's like, I mean, we're not team owners, but we're fans who put in time and money to be a fan, who go to games, who make an effort to learn about our favorite players, whoever they play for. So we're entitled to that as a fan. And I think, and I actually understood what the guy, when he broke down the issue, that's why the Pat McAfee show is doing so well. That's why all these other YouTubers are doing so well. They don't put their emotions into why they're covering an article. And they could actually, like, this one guy I follow, he's a Clippers fan. He's been completely honest with the fact that he's tired of seeing Kawhi and PG on load management. He's tired of the fact that, like, people are not holding Kawhi to that standard because he won, what, 2 chips?
Mm-hmm.
But overall, covering the fact but people love the personality. No one wants to wake up and see 2 dudes argue. I mean, it's funnier seeing Pat McAfee do it because it's like the bros. It's like what we're doing right now.
Yeah.
It's like the
what
bros.
he is. Yeah.
It's like the bros is arguing over stuff, but it's never personal to where it's like we're slandering players. But that's all people did at ESPN. They slandered players. They ruined their reputation. That's why Chuck and Kevin Durant don't like each other.
Yeah.
Even though Chuck was honest, they have a problem. That's why everybody hates Skip Bayless. And now Shannon Sharp, he's showing his ass too.
It's the same thing with Colin Cowherd. Like,
but
Skip Bayless, now he has, like, and we saw it last year, was like, his gimmick was like, oh, Cowboys, and oh, Brady, and like, he would wait for his tweets.
And Baker Mayfield.
And Baker, I love Baker. Like, then it becomes like, oh, let's watch Stephen A. like defend the Cowboys, or let's watch Stephen A. do this, like, or not Stephen A. Let's watch Skip do it. Let's watch Skip. Oh, he's gonna defend the Cowboys. They just lost by like 20 points. Oh, Dak didn't have a bad game. He did this. It's because it turned into like a bias thing, and like you said, ESPN kind of had their own narrative going on. Like, we gotta cover LeBron. We gotta LeBron ate pizza. Let's talk about LeBron eating pizza.
How does this affect his legacy?
Yeah, how does it affect his legacy? He ate pineapple pizza. Like, it's just weird. Is there something wrong with him? Is he gonna be good for Game 6?
Do they need to trade away half the team so they can win one game?
Exactly. So like, us, like you said, us as fans, like, I think it gives a good perspective. Like, there's dudes that are sitting on their couch right now that have just as much knowledge as the dudes on ESPN.
Yeah.
They just weren't discovered. They didn't go through that door. They didn't go to broadcasting school. They didn't do all this, that, and the other. They just know a lot about sports, so we should hear their opinion.
But what's it like when we sit here and watch the game front to back? The only issue is we're just not there.
Yeah.
But how can I not sit up here and watch? Like, how can we not watch baseball, and then we know everything that's going on, and then we talk about it?
No, I know.
It's like why is that an issue? Just because we didn't go through that channel, like we just went through. I mean,
yeah.
Real talk. Who wants to do that now?
No.
When YouTube is literally paying everybody just to talk about it.
There's dudes on TikTok that I'll watch, and they'll have like the game pulled up, and they'll have like the Sharpie pulled out. And they're like, okay, look, so this formation, that formation, The back should have cut left instead of right. The O-line split this way. The slant route wasn't like they're breaking down the game. They're just not getting paid to do it.
But see,
They're not on that level.
and I'd rather watch that.
Yeah,
And
I know they're not biased and partisan most of the time.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, because they're fans. They're just like us. We're watching the game. We're having fun. You know, we're breaking it down for like the normal person. I feel like ESPN sometimes will go above that, and they'll push their agenda, and you're lost.
Mm.
Yeah. But
And that's why they got all them damn cuts, them damn budget cuts.
all the time, yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you like the bias though.
It makes it fun.
It,
but
it,
like,
it does, but it gets overkill. It gets to a point where like you genuinely don't like talking about it or hearing about it. Like I can't remember the last time I sat down and watched Skip and Shannon because if it's not about LeBron, Cowboys, Tom Brady or Baker Mayfield, they'll cover like.
Well, I mean, that's a little different because it's like perceived as a sports show, but they're only talking about that stuff. But I'm talking about like, I'll go in and watch like a Philly podcast. It's only about Philly sports.
Right.
Or like the Eagles.
Mm.
Which is, I like that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like.
I like hearing about what this dude has to say about my favorite team.
Especially instead of someone who I'll go like for Skip, for example, who doesn't like Philly,
Yeah.
and he'll just go and he'll use his own emotional opinion to say something that's completely not true.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, they made a good point. I don't think it was all Stephen A's fault, but it's more of the fact that like for years all we had to listen to was just guys put other athletes down, and so that's why like a lot of times people will believe like, oh, Russ is a bad person or Kyrie is a bad person, but then you see them in a different light. Like Russ isn't a bad person at all. Well, no, it's okay. But yeah, like they try to slander Russ so bad and say like he was a cancer in the locker room, but they said the same thing about Cam, and no one said anything bad about him.
Mm-hmm.
Or they said the same thing about I just thought of him, Kyrie. How they try to slander him and say he's a terrible teammate and everything like that, but then there's a whole group of people saying like he's the complete opposite and he's the most liked person in the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't get it. I'm gonna take this cast off so bad.
Yeah, you wish, dude.
Bro, I want to.
Carrot some more. Oh wow, tight game. Bottom of the ninth. They just won.
Walk off.
Wow.
That's tough.
Against Vanderbilt. Number 4. Put some motherfucking head.
Oh, man. You know them DMs about to be flooded tonight, boy. Oh, I saw your little game, so
Congrats. You guys having an after party?
Oh, fam, we already know. We already know they have an
Oh,
after
it's
party.
gone.
Someone's daughter about to get lit. Someone's daughter about to get destroyed.
Netflix, I was still watching.
What do you think about the Mavericks right now?
Actually, I put that in the title.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I actually put that in the title.
that book.
Damn.
Oh my
Oh.
god. Oh, okay, cool, cool. It's okay.
Shout out the Masters.
I thought you was gonna do the D'Angelo.
Oh, I just do it together. No, but
I actually put that in the title. Yeah, so alright, so what's going on? Catch you up to speed. The playoffs are about to start for basketball.
Mm-hmm.
The Mavs were going to shut down both Kyrie and Luka because I think they're dealing with injuries and they didn't believe that they were going to make the play-in tournament to try and make it into the playoffs. So they were just going to shut the team down entirely tonight against Chicago. So Luka is not shut down completely, but Kyrie's missing. He's out tonight with a hand. Luka only plays the first quarter, and then the Mavs plan on shutting him down. Now, the reason why everyone's so up in awe about the situation is because that was their chance to go into the. Oh wow, they're up.
Oh, that's perfect.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, shoot, never mind.
Halftime right now as we're recording.
Eliminated from playoffs
With loss.
So yeah,
why
Kyrie's
are they not
out.
playing?
Tim Hardaway Jr.
I think they want to rest them.
Christian Wood.
But if they're eliminated with a loss, why are they not playing to get in? I feel like
Because I think originally their plan, they already thought that they lost. So they were just like, whatever. We're not going to try, basically. We're just like, all right, we're just going to cut our losses. We don't think we're going to make it. Because the way it worked out perfectly for them. It worked out perfectly because they needed OKC to lose, which they did. They needed another team. Who else did they need to lose? They needed two teams. They needed OKC, and they needed someone else
New
to
Orleans,
lose.
not New Orleans, was it?
I think it was New Orleans
Was it New
because they were tied too, and I think they ended up losing. So they ended up getting the final spot to get into the play-in tournament, and which they're about to win. So that was the reason why I want to talk about it because I thought it was stupid to shut them down or have them play the first half at least. Or I'm sorry, first quarter. They were gonna have them play first quarter and then just shut them down for the rest of the game. But I guess it worked out for them.
I mean, they have to think in the back of their head. I don't think they're beating Phoenix, right?
No,
they're probably not beating Denver. I don't see
No.
them beating Denver.
they're not beating.
So, I mean, Phillies won finally.
Let's go.
But yeah, that didn't work out the way they thought that would with Luka and Kyrie. I mean,
Look, I've been trying to tell people since LeBron went to Miami, chemistry. Like it goes over everyone's head. It's like, listen, you have to understand, like you can't make a mid-season trade and figure it out tomorrow. Like these are two ball dominant players. They are basically the same player. People have to understand it's like, where do you want the ball? How do you want the ball given to you? Where are you normally dominant with the ball? Do you like coming off pick and roll? Do you like coming off pick and roll, spot up shot mid range? Do you want the ball in the block? You in transition? Like
that's a whole off season and a half to figure that out.
But that's the reality.
Yeah.
So you can't make a mid-season trade with 2 30-point scorers and be like, oh, just figure it out.
On paper, it's nice.
Oh, of course.
On paper, it's beautiful, and that's what a lot of teams. I mean, if you put Harden, Harden, Durant, and Kyrie on the same team, on paper, that should be a finals contender, finals champion.
But then they was always hurt.
Yeah.
But then
how many games did they play together? I think it was like 20. It was something real.
The new Nets squad played more minutes than the old Nets squad. I saw that statistic. But another thing too, they're not beating anybody. They don't have anybody on defense.
No.
They got Christian Wood, who is he's more of an inside perimeter. He's more of an inside defender. But I mean, he is athletic. But if you put Jokic in there, I'm sorry, it's barbecue chicken.
Oh yeah,
it's barbecue chicken. If you put, he made farewell against DeAndre Ayton because Ayton sometimes shows up for games, but they're not winning.
No.
If you can't defend, you're not going to win.
As Luka had alluded to, they miss Jalen Brunson. They asked him. He said, "I miss him."
Well, yeah,
I would too.
Because Mans was putting up 40 burgers, but Mark Cuban was like, "Oh no, I ain't feeling dude. He doesn't feel like he's the fit." And then now he's putting 40 balls in
New York. And I remember they clowned New York for signing him. Oh, that's too much money for him.
I ain't gonna lie. I thought that was that contract.
Let's
be honest. Hold on.
Okay.
Because we've seen how many dudes
with New York.
Hold on, just in general, have a crazy ass season, put up crazy points, aka David Johnson for the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh.
Yeah, when that man put up over 1,000 yards, and we thought he was the great coming, and dude barely got over 500 the next season. So if you give dude he put up crazy numbers in the playoffs, and then you give him over 100, what?
Yeah.
For how many years?
Yeah.
Of course, everybody's gonna be like, "Oh no, that's a fluke."
The contract was too high at the time, and also it's like I said, it's the Knicks, who they're always going to scrutinize and be like, oh, it's the Knicks. Of course you're going to overpay someone.
Y'all need to go play basketball for the Knicks. Y'all gonna get a crazy bag.
Apparently, they shell it out. They don't shell it out to the right people.
You play basketball for the Knicks, or you can play baseball for the Mets.
I'm saying, fam, like, if you really want a bag, go to the Knicks.
Go to New York.
I mean, they had Stoudemire and Carmelo, and they didn't do anything.
What the hell Daniel Jones is signed for right now?
Oh.
Like, go play for New York.
And the Jets?
Oh.
Yeah, the Jets, yeah.
Yeah, the Jets.
What's up in New York?
Apparently, they got money.
It's a big market, and they want big names there. Even though Jalen Brunson wasn't a big name, but
putting up big numbers.
Big numbers, yeah.
So,
but it's worked out. It's worked out real well. They're in the playoffs. The Mavericks might not make the playoffs, and Knicks are in it. So.
You see these Texans teams. There ain't no Texas teams, or only the Mavs, but still.
The Rangers are going off right now.
Yeah.
Boo. The Rangers. Oh, I'm thinking about the Astros. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you were thinking about the Astros.
They're 3-5 right now.
Yeah.
We're started since 2017.
That's tough.
Screw them.
2018. Yeah.
Screw them.
All right, we gonna hit the grand finale. All right, so we all know about this Iowa LSU.
I don't.
Well,
enlighten me.
It was funny too. I was actually working while watching the game. So, Caitlin Clark, the miniature Sue Bird, we could say. She was shooting the lights out, and she was causing all types of havoc throughout the college basketball tournament. She was basically talking shit, and everybody got mad because she was really just talking shit and hitting them with the John Cena "You can't see me."
Yeah.
And so everybody, it was divided. People were like, "Damn, I don't know why you talking shit," and okay, do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
So they met LSU. I didn't realize how good LSU was till I watched, because I mean, that's no disrespect. I just wasn't watching women's college basketball like that.
The men's.
That's what.
Yeah.
That's what I was.
We kind of know women's college basketball for UConn.
Right.
You at least know they're always going to be there, and it's apparently the men ones. So that was a big difference. Yeah, it's a big switch.
So
yeah.
Right, so it was like that was the only thing. So I was watching the game. It was really like, it was basically Caitlin Clark versus LSU. They basically had her like the white girl Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Like if she's shooting the lights out, we gonna win. There was other girls that were shooting, but not to the caliber of what Clark was doing.
Yeah.
So basically, to wrap it up, I do not know why they took exception to why Clark showboated the other team. I don't know why they took it personal. So they did the whole Jordan, I'm gonna take it personal. Defended very well and played that was probably one of the better games I've seen in women's college basketball. And so she basically taunted her back, hit her with the "you can't see me" and we got a ring. That's all she did.
Mm-hmm.
That's all.
Angel
Reese.
Yeah.
Reed. Please look it up. I'm about to get flamed.
I know. It's Angel Reese. It's definitely Angel Reese.
It's Reed.
So who's the other chick?
Caitlin Clark.
She's the white chick?
Yes.
Okay.
Angel Reese.
Angel Reese? Okay. So Angel Reese, the black girl, she was getting flamed for basically doing the same thing that she did to Caitlin Clark. Now, reason why it was, I mean...
How was she playing?
How was she playing?
Yeah.
Oh, she was playing phenomenal.
Solid.
Angel?
Yeah.
Solid.
Yeah, she's a double monster. So, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I just feel like it just became a race thing. It was a black girl. And she basically said it. Y'all hate me because I don't look the fit. I look ghetto. My hair's down. I got my eyelashes. I look a certain way, and y'all are hating on me because I basically did the same thing that this white girl did, and y'all cherished her for it. I feel like there's two. So basically, it wasn't a hate crime, but it became more than what it should have been. It really made the news for the wrong reasons. It wasn't like, oh, two good teams play. It was more so everybody hating on this girl, and it wasn't because she's black, but the extra hatred came because she was black.
It's like, it's the same thing. Like in any kind of sport, any level, anything. If the game before, let's say conference championship, someone does "you can't see me." Let's say Patrick Mahomes does "you can't see me." Then Jalen Hurts says "you can't see me" the next game, and they're mad at Jalen Hurts for it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Right.
It doesn't make sense, right? So they're both. She's counteracting. Mm-hmm. She has a right to do it.
Yeah.
They're up. They're about to win. They did win.
Yeah.
So she has every right to do
it. It was within the lines of the sport. Nothing was said outside of basketball. So then all these talk shows and everything made it a big deal. Like, oh, what's out of the means of trash talk? I'm like, but Richard Sherman was dogging dudes for 16 straight weeks.
Yeah.
Straight dogging dudes. Mm-hmm. And what happened?
Like the soundbite against Crabtree.
What?
Against a sorry ass retriever like Crabtree? Yeah,
that's what
like,
you're gonna get.
Yeah, that's what you're gonna get.
And then Jalen Ramsey was dogging dudes for 16 straight weeks. Yeah. And what happened?
But like if you can perform, I always said that if you can perform,
you can talk trash.
You know, why are you? Yeah. And we went back to it. We talked about it before we even started filming. But Dave Portnoy kind of kicked it off because he said she was a classless piece of shit. And that's where everyone started coming in there. Right? Tyreek came in there.
Mm-hmm. All the black people.
Athletes from like every sport.
I'm gonna say it. All the black people.
Yeah, athletes from every sport.
All the black people came in.
We're like, why are you picking her out of everyone, and you're calling her out because she did the same thing that Caitlin Clark did?
Now, I mean, I'm gonna say it too. If it was two white teams and the other team did that to her, we wouldn't be.
Oh, good competition. Good, yeah.
Good showmanship. Yeah. Good sportsmanship.
They're competitive. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and like so to go back to Angel Reese, like the only thing that rubbed me the wrong way was when after the game and they were doing she was doing like her media rounds, right? And then she's like, "Oh, I don't know if I want to show up for the like Joe Biden wanted to invite both teams."
The wife wanted to. I mean, because she wanted to invite both teams. But bro, like, come on, man. When does that ever happen?
That doesn't happen.
Like, we won. Let us have our moment. I understood where she was coming from.
It's like you wouldn't invite the losing team to the White House.
Well, that's like the Chiefs going to the White House. Oh, well, Philly, y'all want to come too?
Yeah.
Hell no.
Could you imagine Philly showing up there and like they get like a second place trophy?
That's a slap in the...
You guys did good,
but that's a middle finger to the face. That's literally insult to injury.
Yeah, which I get that. And like, but then she was like, "Well, if Obama was there, I would go." I'm like, okay, so I mean, she was going. She was, but I get where she was coming from.
Because at this point, I mean, listen, like I said, I'm gonna say it, and I'm not really trying to use my black card, but I feel like the undertones of it is because of race.
The way it started, no one would have ever had a problem with it if it wasn't her. No, I agree, 100%.
Like that's really like that's what I understood from this situation. It wasn't the fact that she did it. I genuinely feel like if it was another white team, we wouldn't be having this conversation. But it was the fact that everyone wanted Caitlin Clark to win. She lost. She got what she was doling out. No one liked it. Now it's a problem.
Yeah. And I don't think Caitlin Clark had a problem with it.
She went back and defended Angel Reese. Said that we shouldn't be talking about this. She did it. Okay, cool. Whatever.
If we're in sports, right? So like high school sports, even like the bare minimum.
Mm-hmm.
If we talk crap and then someone else talks crap, we're like, you know what? I got what I was coming to me. Like if I do like a signature taunt, right? Like if I have this one thing where I'm like, I'll let the arrow go or whatever it is, and then stroke, or Fernando Rodney used to do that too. But like whoever, let's say next game, right? So I let the arrow go. I'm losing down by 20 points. Someone else lets the arrow go. Who am I to stop?
Fam, what happened when Russ would rock the baby on somebody and then they go back and rock the baby on him?
Yeah.
And then Russ used to say he was too small.
Yeah.
And then Russ would get a move hit on him. Then they'd be like, "You too small." It's been happening.
Because that's in the back of whoever did that. That's in the back of their mind. They're like, Russ has been doing this.
I'm gonna get you back.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you back. So if I'm gonna do it on your team, I'm about to win. Who's to stop you?
Because let's say that say if Caitlin Clark did win, she still would have hit him with the you can't see me.
And then they would have been like on the talk shows like the Today Show. They would have been like, "Oh, Caitlin Clark does you It's a whole
and John Cena backed that up, so of course I gotta go back at her.
I know.
Of course I gotta hit her with the. Come on, fam. I would have. See, I'm a real OG. I would have hit him with the 5-knuckle shuffle. Yeah,
shoulder shrug.
Dust my shoulders off real quick. That's what I would have did.
Yeah, the people's elbow. Did y'all? I don't. This is like completely off topic. Snoop Dogg hit the people's elbow. Did you see that?
Oh
Well,
my
that's
gosh,
shit.
fam,
What the fuck
yo,
was that, bro?
Shano, no, cause Shano,
He blew out his knee or
his ace
quad.
Oh, his quad.
It was quad.
Dang, them weak ass quads in that family.
I know. Vince did the same thing. Vince did the same thing 15 years before.
Yo, fam, he came in hot. Shano was like, okay, oh, he about to get jiggy, man.
So to catch you up, because you won't know, but so the 2005 Royal Rumble, Vince comes down.
Man's strutting down. Oh, because John Cena and Batista hit the.
They went out at the same time.
And that wasn't actually supposed to happen.
They weren't supposed to fall at the same time. So the Royal Rumble was like the last person to go out, and then whoever's in the ring wins. Mm-hmm. So they both tumbled over the rope. Cena and Batista hit the floor at the same time.
And then
Vince was pissed.
Vince comes strutting out there with his walk.
So Vince does his walk, like the McGregor walk, like with the arms thrown.
Man's got into the ring. Both legs folded underneath him.
He slides into the ring, head first. He goes to get up, and they're just gone. So he has to sit in the corner. Both quads gone.
Yo, the video is so funny.
Yeah, he's sitting there and he's throwing his jacket. He's like, fuck. All that stuff. He's sitting here like this, like yelling at everyone, like trying to get the match restarted so they can actually have like the right finish.
John Cena, Batista, like.
Yeah, they're like, what? They're trying to play it off. And then, 17 years later, his son goes in the ring. Same thing happens.
I thought man's tore his ACL. I'm sitting here with my leg up. I'm like, damn, hey, no.
Yeah. But, so you gotta think.
We're the same, bro. We're the same.
Shane McMahon, you gotta think, he gotta be about 50?
Bro, but still, come on, man.
So he does the whole, he gets up, Miz is supposed to go under his legs, he does like the split, so Miz is supposed to go under. When he comes back down,
bro, his
plant's wrong.
Bro, you can see his leg got ass bent the other way.
And I remember, so I was watching it on the TV, and I'm like, that definitely wasn't supposed to happen.
Hey, no, bro, he tried standing back up, he was like...
He went to stand back up like this, and his knee was his leg was like that. Just completely kicked, and then Miz was like, and Miz played it off well. He's like, oh, come on, and then
Snoop was like, oh, okay, hold on.
Yeah, there's another.
Snoop grabbed the mic, and he said, oh, that's how you feel?
There's another angle, so it was actually because Snoop played it off well.
Yeah.
So there's a cameraman in the corner that must have an earpiece at the back,
and
he's pointing at Snoop, and he goes like this. He's like, get in the ring and hit him, and Snoop's like, huh? He's like, get in the ring and hit him. So that's when Snoop gets in, hits the Miz, and then they have a whole little 2-minute match.
Yeah.
And everyone went crazy. They were like, oh, Snoop. And it was the perfect ending to it.
I know, he improvised like hell.
He did. The people went crazy. They forgot about Shane.
I was like, I'm sitting here, I'm sitting here with my leg propped up. I'm like, damn, I feel you, bro. I'm like,
it's about to be like that.
I'm like, dog, like, this shit contagious.
You got my cart,
bro. Yeah. Real quick, you know, Chuck Charles at Nissan. I don't know. He worked at Toyota.
You know about Chuck?
Labasco?
Yeah, I know of him.
Oh, he injured his foot too.
Did he really?
Yeah, he had a whole scooter and everything. I'm like, fam, I don't know what the hell is going on, dog.
I hadn't seen him there in a while. I guess that makes sense.
No, he played because he said he played basketball.
We had a basketball tournament.
Yeah. Oh, that's what jacked up his foot.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So
we had like a 3v3 thing.
Yeah, we got little. So he got his little scooter. I got mine.
Yeah.
Hey, hell yeah.
Where you walking to, bitch?
Whoa!
I'm hopping.
That was aggressive. A little aggressive.
He been dogging me since he found out.
Who, me?
Yeah. Did you?
Yeah. Oh, at work?
Yeah.
No. I thought you meant like in general. I'm like, you see me?
You know I am.
You know who I am? Do you see me? You know my height?
Fortnite.
Hey, that update is crazy though.
Did you see? Listen, I'm gonna go fucking way off the rails to get demonetized. Did you see? Someone uploaded.
Hey, tune in next time.
The naked skins.
What?
They pulled it. Someone I saw it on TikTok. They did no clothes skins for the girl skins.
Oh no.
Yeah, it was like a hack thing. I don't know how they did it. It was it must have been on PC.
Oh, the horny boys are out.
No, because it was watch this double tap, and someone double tap with the shotgun. But I'm like, what? I was like, she doesn't have pants on. It was ass cheeks hanging out.
Jeez.
And I was like,
Phil, I'm not surprised because Mod's been attacking my favorite games lately. I'll be seeing.
Hogwarts ones? Those are the best.
What do you mean they're the best?
They're like, instead of a wand, he's got like a Glock.
Oh, I'm saying, I was like,
I didn't know where it was going.
yeah, that's why I was like,
No,
That was the best.
horny bitch shit.
How horny these dudes have to be in their bedroom? They're like, yes, let me.
no, so
Make them naked.
actually, yeah, I might have to say this off camera because we're gonna get shadow banned 100%.